Greetings, greetings, greetings. This is Brian Matthew Robertson. I am your virtual mentor. And today, mentees, we're going to be talking about session 5, which is social and classroom behavior. We are still in module 1, but we are on session 5, which is representing social and classroom behaviors. We hear it all the time about acting correctly in the classroom. So I'm going to give you some key tips that's going to help you in and outside the classroom. So let's start with our objectives. First objective, I will understand the importance of etiquette. Know that etiquette is very important. And we're not just talking about dining. A lot of times we associate etiquette with just dining, but etiquette really means how you represent yourself. And we're going to talk about some situations within how you can represent yourself in the best way. The second objective is I will be able to use appropriate etiquette in various settings. So there we go. That represents our two objectives. And let's talk about our key terms right now. Etiquette, obviously, right? That's going to be one of our terms, which is good behavior and manners. We're going to simplify it. Basically, it's good behavior and manners. And our second term, which is manners. Manners, basically. You hear that all the time, which is being polite, all right? Being polite. So simple, right? So with that, our mantra is, I am well-mannered and kind. Say it with me. I am well-mannered and kind. Now, you put it out there in the atmosphere. Now you have to live it. All right. And it's very difficult sometimes. So I'm going to talk about how we can make that easy and how we can do what we need to do to represent ourselves in the best light. So let's be honest. We hear brands all the time, from clothing brands to companies, food stores. You have brands everywhere. Cell phones, everything has a brand, right, in the name. And they usually represent themselves in the best light. They represent themselves in the best way. And when they don't, people usually speak bad about them, those companies. Or if they do something that's not, that doesn't show good character, a lot of times that hurts their business. So I like to think about brands in the same way of how we represent ourselves and how we brand ourselves as individuals, right? So how are you branding yourself? How are you responding and talking to people and dealing with people in life situations? And how are we representing ourselves in and outside the classroom? These are things to think about because your brand stays with you. Your name and who you are follows you. Now, don't get me wrong. It doesn't mean you can't change negative things. I'm just saying that people usually have an idea of you and they keep it. So you might want to take the time to really represent yourself in the best way, right? So let's talk about this, okay? The old adage that, do unto others as you want done to you goes a long way because what you give out is usually what you give back. So you have to be careful what you give out. So let's talk about situations when you're dealing with teachers or you're dealing with students. We'll start off with teachers. Dealing with teachers, you're not going to always have the ideal situation. And not all teachers are perfect. And they may have days where they're not in the best mood. But how you respond is going to determine what type of person you are. And sometimes you may have to be the person that says, you know what, let me be respectful. Most of the time, teachers should handle themselves where they respect the student because I believe in, reciprocity. What you give out is what you give back, what you get back. So that means you need to treat people accordingly, how you want to be treated, right? So teachers should do that, but it doesn't mean that in a perfect world, right, it's not always going to happen. So you have to be able to respond back and be kind and do what's necessary. Show etiquette in the classroom because honestly, school is not that hard if you listen and do what the teachers ask. It's really not. Do your homework, do what's needed, and I guarantee you that teacher will most likely look out for you. I mean, it's happened so many times in my life. And if they know, even if you're struggling, if you behave correctly and allow them to know, you have a good chance of going far in that classroom. So let's move on to dealing with peers. When you're dealing with peers, you want to make sure that you are able to be the bigger person. Some people are not going to like you. That's true. Some people are not going to like you and they might be jealous. You be the person to represent yourself because you are branding yourself. And character is who you are in adversity, right? And dealing with adversity or dealing with obstacles. Represent yourself in the best light and show them and be a leader. And that may be standing alone sometimes with standing true to who you are and being respectful. Because I guarantee you, if you can walk around the hallways respecting other individuals, it's going to show some about you. And people are going to start talking in a good way about how you are and who you are. So represent yourself within dealing with adults, represent yourself with dealing with your peers, and that also follows in and outside the classroom because at the end of the day, how you dress, how you talk, how you walk, right? How you represent yourself with your grades in school is going to represent your brand. And you want to be a brand that everyone is like, man, that's the stuff right there. That person is representing themselves in the best way. So be a good brand. Be a brand that's going to show that it's classy, it has etiquette, it can deal with life situations, and knows how to represent themselves. I mean, it's a reason why people continue to get in lines for iPhones. It's a reason why people will get in line for Chick-fil-A, because they represent themselves in a great way, and you rarely get bad service. So it speaks for itself. So what type of brand are you going to be? Okay. With that being said, it's time for our wrap up. I want you to think about a time when you were hurt, right? And the time someone hurt you when based off of what they said or how they reacted. You don't want to be that person that makes anyone feel that way. So make sure you take the time to say, you know what, how would I feel if someone said something hurtful to me, or if someone was flippant, or someone said something that was nasty to me? You don't want to be that person that gives out that trash, right? So you be the person to make sure you handle yourself in the best way. And with that being said, I got a little bit of homework. When I wrap up, I got a little bit of homework. Our homework today is whoever you encounter, I want you to say something nice, or say something nice or something kind, right? But I also want you to either do something nice for them, whoever it is that you encounter. And it could be something simple. Opening a door, saying hello, any of those things. Take the time and do that, because you never know what you can do or make someone feel. So before I close, this is Brian Matthew Robertson. I'm signing out. But before I go, remember, your discipline dictates your success. I'll see you all next session.